We have a couple of assignments in this course over poetry explications. Let me try to briefly explain what we mean by an explication. You'll be assigned a poem, and I'm asking you essentially to analyze that poem. I don't want you to just retell the poem or reform it in your own words, although that can be a very useful tool, and you can do some of that in the way of doing an explication. But think of an explication more as an analysis. You want to go in and really examine the details of the poem. You can take it line by line, but you don't have to devote equal attention to each line. You need to go through and pick out the important things. So if there's something very important in line 1, you might spend several sentences on that. If there's nothing of particular importance in line 2, you might more or less skip over that line and go to the next one, or take it sentence by sentence through the poem. You do want to begin at the beginning, of course, and work chronologically through the poem, but how much you're going to devote to each stanza or each line or each sentence is entirely up to you, as you need to pick out the important things. The main thing that I can tell you is to work with details. Usually you'll be able to pick out some important words in the poem. Why would the poet pick this word instead of some other word? What does this word bring to the poem? We talk about connotations and denotations, for example. The denotation being the dictionary definition, the connotation being the associated meanings with a word. So when a poet decides to use a negative word, a word with negative connotations, what does that mean? What does this bring to the poem? Or if he uses one that has positive connotations, what does this bring to the poem? So think about these details, the words that are used, also the poetical devices. Does the poet use metaphor or simile or some other poetical device? If so, that might well be worth discussion in your explication. But think about it as an analysis, an explanation of the poem. Do some interpretation, particularly if you feel the poem needs it, but go beyond that a bit and also begin to analyze the way the poet puts the poem together.